Looks like we're live. All right, everyone. This is Dr. Brian Capra from Genesis Chiropractic Software with another podcast, webinar, whatever you call these things these days. I'm really excited to have a good friend and a great partner with Genesis, Matt Prados from Review Wave. A lot of you who are listening probably already have heard of Review Wave or are using Review Wave, but if you haven't, definitely got to understand, what they're all about, what they do, so you can make a good decision about, what integrations you want to use with Genesis. Matt, it's been a long time, man. we're post COVID over here in Florida. I don't know if you guys are yet in California.
Yeah, yesterday I think was the final mask day, so
Oh wow!
I think we've made it through
Congratulations!
the bulk of it. We'll see what
Congratulations, man.
first dust is. Thank you. But yeah, you guys
Yeah,
are
it's nothing like
enjoying
it.
yourselves a little bit more than we have.
Yeah, it's almost as if it never happened here. So let's. I got to think about who might be listening. So I got to think about people that don't know you. It's easy for me to just go into as if we've everybody knows you forever, like I do. But let's take a step back. What tell us and the audience about Review Wave and how it started, and what was your thought process when you started it? What did you think it was going to be, and maybe we'll get into a little bit more about what is it now, how it's evolved.
Absolutely. So, for me, it started really at birth because I'm part of the largest chiropractic family in the world, 80 plus chiropractors in my family. Started working at my
Wow.
parents' clinic when I was 8, ran the whole thing by the time I was in my teenage years. Once I graduated high school, college wasn't really for me. I hit the road, sales and marketing, but of course I ended up working in the chiropractic industry in various roles and duties, et cetera. So, fast forward a few years, about 12 years ago, I started a website marketing company for chiropractors. So we were the first ones to do video and social media and opt-in forms and new patient specials and autoresponders, all that kind of stuff for chiropractors. And we were killing it. We had a lot of great clients. But what we did about 5-6 years ago now is I reviewed the client progress, who was getting the most new patients. And what I found through, all of these clients, about 100 clients that we reviewed, is the ones that were getting the most new patients had the most reviews. And so in a very superficial way, I said, oh, well, that's easy. We can just help them get more reviews. Then they're going to get more new patients and, everything's great in the world. So we started coaching them. Hey, ask for reviews. Here's how to ask. Here's a flyer to hand out. Here's a link that you need to go to, all this stuff. And it really didn't do anything. The offices were busy. They didn't like asking. They felt like it was begging, et cetera. So we said, all right, we have to remove the office need to take action, and we need to just make it completely automated. And so when we came out with the first version of Review Wave, hence the name Review Wave, we were all about reviews, just reviews. We automated the process of asking for reviews, made it as easy as possible for the patient to leave reviews. And, it really, just immediately had massive, massive success for these individual clinics. And then from there, the journey of Review Wave has really been one that I never could have imagined, from that point to where we've gotten. But what we really did is we became the company that would listen to the patients. We started reading the negative feedbacks. What are patients not happy about? What needs to change? And then rather than, going out and asking offices what needs to be better, listening to the patients, we went and said, what can we do for technology for these offices to solve these problems? And we started solving problems that really, a lot of offices didn't even think they had. And so, a lot of offices did appointment reminders, right? It's very common. It's been around forever. But typically, they used a short code or a random 10-digit phone number that can't be called. When we came out with texting, we came out with empowering your business office number as the texting number. That added with some special, copywriting skills, changing around the verbiage of how reminders, communicated, and we saw massive bumps in appointments attended. And so, every time we come up with a feature, it's not just to have a feature, it's how do we do that feature the best possible. And so we just kept stacking on, ways to make the offices more enjoyable for patients. So appointment reminders, two-way texting, that was huge. That was kind of number 2. Number 3 was scheduling. They hated, calling the office and being on hold, or the office didn't even answer the phone between noon and 3. or they're closed altogether on Tuesdays, so they could never talk to anybody. And so we came up with online scheduling. We were shocked actually at the results because, having been in the web business for years, I knew what a typical website would do in terms of new patient generation, with the opt-in form to request a new patient or a new patient appointment special, whatever it may be. And so we came up with online scheduling, which, like in our integration with Genesis, is 100% in real time. What are available appointments? They pick their exact time, it schedules them right into the EHR, boom. And we saw a 200 to 300% increase in new patients from the website marketing that people were already paying for. So that was
Matt,
absolutely
that's
massive.
in 200 to 300% increase above and beyond having a way to request an appointment on you. So you were already getting results by contact forms and things like that with new patients. But when you gave them the ability to schedule themselves, 200 to 300 times more.
Exactly. So let's say, the average chiropractor probably gets, 3 or 4 of those forms filled out a month. It's very low. It's not great, but you stick on online scheduling, now all of a sudden you get 9 or 12 people that schedule appointments, not just request an appointment, because those forms, they go to spam, your staff are too busy, they don't call them back, or the person gets busy, or they called the next chiropractor because you took too long, whatever the reason may be.
Right.
These are actual people scheduling to come in.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing how when you add automation, it's just like these little subtleties sometimes with technology that it sounds good on paper and you think it's good, but sometimes doctors don't really put faith in how automation actually changes numbers. We talk a lot about that in Genesis, but it literally saves time. It literally increases retention and compliance and so on. So that's pretty cool. Just that one little tweak and totally different results.
It was massive, absolutely. And so really we became that company that looks at, how are patients experiencing their care? How can we improve on that? And every one of our features is not just a feature to have a feature, but a feature that actually changes that journey. And then what's amazing about I could go on hours for all features, so I'll skip that. But as you go through all these features and you add in these amazing, the delivery to the patients, at the end, they're so happy, your review numbers absolutely skyrocket, your referrals absolutely skyrocket. And then after years of doing this, we found as guys got into the hundreds, 200s, 300s of reviews, their listing would just stick to the top of Google and their phone is just ringing like it has never rung before. Many of them even cancel their other marketing and just let Google drive the patients from those reviews because it's so powerful once it's built.
Yeah, that's where people are going these days. So I've seen you guys evolve. I remember when we met, I think it was ChiroFest maybe or something like that. And you were just introducing the reviews part, and I was like, that's brilliant. But like you're saying, a lot has changed. There's been a lot more tweaks. We'll go into more features in a minute. But I think one of the biggest concerns doctors or staff listening to this are going to have is it's technology, right? And is it hard to use? So how do you overcome the learning curve? Do you have to be super tech savvy to use ReviewWave? Tell me a little bit more about that. Let's get that out of the way.
Cool. Yeah, I love it. So here I got to lean again on my prior website experience. So in building websites, there's a term called conversion rate optimization. And so it's the user interface. How easy is it to navigate the website to get the prospect to do what you want, which in the earlier case was, become a new patient, fill out a form, schedule online, call the office, whatever it may be. And so all those years of studying user interface, when we built ReviewWave, we wanted to build the simplest piece of technology that just worked out of the box. And so everything we do is templatized. If you signed up for ReviewWave today, you can literally have it implemented the same day. It's that user friendly, it's that ready to go. The connection with Genesis is seamless. It takes literally seconds to connect, sync up, and then what we do is we have an hour setup call. And so, I know with like an EHR, it's obviously you're migrating data and all this stuff, but since we sync, you don't have to do the migration. You do this 1 hour call. We go through all the features. We get all your, your little customizations made, and then you're off to the races. You're using your business number. Your texting is going out. You've got campaigns going. Online scheduling code sent to your website team. They install it, and it just works. And so beyond that, if they need more calls, the biggest thing, the biggest feedback we get is our customer service is just absolutely superior to anything out there in our realm, or even, the realm of the world today, as far as customer service goes. We're super sensitive. We monitor our own NPS score, which is our own feedback for larger companies. It's called Net Promoter Score. In real time, we've got a TV hanging on our wall, so anytime a feedback comes in, we see it. The entire team sees it. We celebrate the wins. Anybody who didn't have a 10 experience, we're on the phone. What's going on? Where did we miss it? We're learning from it. We train the team every single week to improve, to never have that thing happen again. As part of our core values, we handle it so it doesn't occur again. And so, we've had absolute massive success with our team, and I think that's been our biggest challenge, honestly, is growing. 5 years ago at ChiroFest, it was me part-time, a developer part-time, and a customer service rep from one of my other companies doing this part-time, and today we're closing in on 60 staff, 15,000 square feet, an absolute beast to train and scale that many people.
Yeah, that's it's a lot, but I could attest, because I've actually had the opportunity to come out to your office and spend some time out there, and you've got just top-notch people, man, just working, plugging away, giving great support. I know we have a lot in common the way we run our businesses. So the whole NPS score, if you don't know what that is, it's a good way, something you should check out just for your own business. Net Promoter Score, really important. But when you get a low NPS, man, just like in your company, that fires off all the alarms in our company. It's like, whoa. It's a great way to learn about your customer's actual experience.
And that's really that's really what ReviewWave does for a chiropractic office. Like you're not going to want to put a true NPS score system in which asks for a 1 to 10 rating, because that's confusing. They don't get it. Plus, it's not going to end up in a Google review anywhere. But if you treat ReviewWave's feedback as an NPS score, concept, anytime you get a 1, 2, 3, or even 4, what should you do? How should you address it? Listen to your patients. I love hearing, when they reach out to somebody who left a 1, 2, or 3, and they handled it, and then that patient is now a huge promoter of their business, so sold because the office actually took that time to make sure that it was made right.
Yeah, I mean, that's gold right there. I mean, I know the way ReviewWave works, and the really cool thing is you get that feedback when it's not a 5. When it's not high, you want to know what that is, and you'd be surprised. We've had practices for years that they didn't realize it relates to Genesis in a way. They didn't realize that with their old software, they were losing patients because when the patient would come into the office, they would not have an accurate balance on the account. It was really hard for them to find out what the patient's actual balance was. So one practice I'm thinking of in particular, he was losing patients. We came in, we fixed that, but in the meantime, he started, when Google kind of came on and started getting reviews, he started to see why it was, and it was something really simple that was easily fixed. And going forward, just listening to your patients, and ReviewWave is really, really good at just giving you an automated way to listen to your patients. And it makes it super easy for them and non-confrontational. They don't feel like they're getting anybody in trouble, or, so, because they're not always going to necessarily tell you in your office. Like if you were to say, can you give me, like you have a flyer, right? Can you give me a 5-star review? Or can you give us a review? They might take the flyer. They might not give you a 5-star. They might do nothing rather than give you a low review. But when you're automating it, it gives them an easy way to actually tell you rather than just give you a low rating. So it was a brilliant thing you came up with, and the rest is history. You guys are still cranking. Maybe you could tell people a little bit more about how it automates even some campaigns and email type things to make it even easier. You mentioned that there's templates, but maybe how it relates to appointment types, or new patients and what kind of campaign they can get, and how it's easy to set up and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you think about your practice, you probably have systems that you expect your staff to do every single time over and over again, but they get busy. Like a missed appointment, typically you tell them pick up the phone 15 minutes afterwards, call, find out what happened, right? So if you look at successful models like franchises where they get the systems that are done just exactly the same over and over and over again, right? No matter what Starbucks you go to, that coffee is going to taste the same, whether you're in Australia or Hawaii or Texas, right? If you can get every single patient to have the same 5-star experience, you're going to see your entire atmosphere in your office elevate. And so what we did, new patient campaign you mentioned. So when a new patient comes in, what is it you want them to know before they come in? Do you want them to fill out their digital forms? Do you have a link on there to forms? I hope you're not still sending PDFs, right? That's a patient experience point, because most people, they don't even own a printer at home, right? So they already have a problem. Do you have an office tour video that they get to watch before they come into the office? If they already have a sense of what the office is going to look like, where it is in the parking lot, what it feels like to open the door, it's going to feel familiar versus unfamiliar. It's going to make their experience that much better. Videos today can be leveraged so many times in so many different ways, as introductions, as testimonials, as educational, and then if you put it into video and you email these patients a video, they can forward this to their friends and family. And so they actually have an asset to help them refer, because how many times do you get the question at the table, hey doc, can you do anything for this condition? And then you spend 5 or 10 minutes explaining all these amazing things that you can do for that condition. It goes one ear out the other. The patient doesn't remember. Then they go back to their friend and go, yeah, I think he can help you with that. I don't know how. Give them a call, right? But if you actually had a video that you made that addressed, how to handle migraines or how to handle sciatica or whatever it may be, and you tell the patient, they ask the same question, hey doc, do you do anything for sciatica? You say, hey, that's great. I'm actually going to send you a special video I made on that topic. What I need you to do is just text the word sciatica to our office number, and I'll send that over to you right away. ReviewWave then sees that keyword comes in, targets the campaign, sends the patient the text message, gives them the video. They can now share that video with their friend, family, etc. Right? So it's these little things where we can save you time. We can help you organize so that you have assets that you can distribute via digital means, and then your patients can then share them over and over and over again. So you're going to see your referrals climb the more you use systems like that, the more content that you put together and are able to continuously share. So you can have unlimited campaigns. You can start them based off of a word being typed in. You can have your staff manually start them. You can start them based off of an appointment type. If they come in for a weight loss consultation, you can start a weight loss campaign, whatever it may be. So there's tons of ways to automate things to absolutely streamline your processes and increase your conversion rates and signups.
Yeah, that brings to mind something I've seen quite a few times. So if I'm out and about or somewhere and I meet somebody and I tell them I'm a chiropractor, right? Oh, I got a chiropractor. He helped me with X condition, right? So there's a couple things here. Number one, oh, what's his or her name? I can't remember. I can't tell you how many times people have told me that they have a great chiropractor whose name they cannot remember. That's number one. So just staying in front of people consistently is in an automated way. So it's not dependent on the office manager that you have today or the CA that you have today that might not be there tomorrow, that understands the system or doesn't understand the system. It is huge. Number two, people will tell me a lot of times, this happened all the time with patients. We would they'd come in for, again, whatever they had going on. For typically people are coming in with headaches or asthma or allergies or back pain or whatever. They get helped, right? Now they're getting educated in the office about, let's say they had back pain, very common, right? Now they hear about something about asthma. They're like, oh, I didn't know it could help out. Now they've been through the workshops. They've heard me talk about it. Now they see it again. And it's like, and we had to start making part of our re-exams, like, that we had to start reminding them that this is not just about back pain or headaches or asthma, that there's a whole bunch of problems that could be helped by chiropractic. And who do they know that hasn't been checked for for subluxation? Who do you know? So I could see where using automation, leveraging automation, number one, can educate them about other things. And then when they hear that condition, they think of somebody that has it. And they're like, oh, but now they still don't know how to refer. And this is a big mistake I saw a lot too with practices, is they never thought that they had to tell people how to refer to them. It seems so simple to us, right? Like just pick up, give them our phone number. right? Or so a lot of times what we would do is we would give them like, hey, there's a couple of ways to refer. You can send them to our website, of course. You can bring them to these workshops. Here's the workshops we have going on, or whatever. When you can automate all that type of communication, giving value, giving a great experience, staying in front of them with your name so they remember, they have a chance at remembering your name. Like Matt is saying, this patient experience, you have to be part of their life, and really, but you have to do the work. And with automation, it makes it even better because you could set up the work in the beginning and it'll be a consistent experience where people will get to know you. They'll see you as a part of their health team. They will remember your name. They will know other things you could help, and they'll send in other patients, and you'll have a great practice because there's no better new patient than a referral for retention, for business. There's no more marketing costs, right? It's like everything gets better when you're getting referrals and your practice.
100%.
And to take that, a great job. Yeah, man.
Thank you. And to take that example that you just gave there, the re-exam, right? So, you could spend, 20, 25, 30 minutes with every patient doing a re-exam, educating them on all these different things that chiropractic can do. Or a day before the re-exam, you could send a video where you're talking about, hey, we're going to be doing your re-exam shortly. I just want to remind you all the things that chiropractic can do. You give this little 5-10 minute lecture on video. Then they're prepped. They come in for the re-exam. It cuts your re-exam time in half because you don't have to do that story over and over and over every time.
Yes.
And then maybe a day after the re-exam, you send another video about, hey, if you thought of any loved ones that has one of those conditions we talked about the other day, I wanted to let you know how to refer them in. Boom. Then you don't even have to do it face to face. It's very non-confrontational again. They can watch that video on their time. And that text can even have an email, a phone number that they can copy and paste. So you could automate so many of these things.
It's huge. Yeah, giving that back to the patient experience. I know you're talking the same language here. Patients want to know that what's going on. If you don't, the day before or I should say visit before their re-exam, if you don't say anything to them about their upcoming re-exam, it's really weird for them. They just spent a lot of money usually in your office. So, with Genesis, we have our pop-ups that tell them to stop the patient and tell them for whatever their process is, okay, your next visit is a re-exam. Make sure it's at this date and time. Does that still work for you? This is what's going to happen. We're going to send you an email about what's going to happen on that visit. Make sure you watch the video, get prepared. Make sure you leave yourself an extra 15 minutes that day. Whatever the case may be, that's the level of experience that not everybody's expecting, but when you give it to them, it's like, wow, they're really on top of what's going on in with my care. And automation, again, just really, really drives it over the line there with that. So you can make a huge difference in your practice with just implementing automation and just trusting it. It's weird because it's like this abstract thing that all these emails and texts are going out and it's going to really make a difference in my practice. When you do it, all of a sudden, a month, 2 months later, you're like, wow, we're starting to get a lot of referrals. You just need one that comes from that email, and you're like, oh, that thing worked. One that schedules online, you're like, holy crap, that thing actually worked, and it'll make a big difference in your practice. What do you see? I mean, we talked a lot about the patient experience. What other fine points do you want to put on this? And then maybe we can, and if there's any other functionality that we've not spoken about that ReviewWave is offering right now. But what else between the patient experience and functionality do you want to add to the end here?
Yeah, so I would say the big, kind of 50,000 foot view of ReviewWave is an AI assistant to run your practice based on your business rules. So don't be scared of online scheduling because we use your business rules. We have mobile apps for patients to manage their schedule, see what their upcoming appointments are, reschedule as needed based on your business rules, schedule new appointments, schedule appointments for their dependents. They can schedule themselves and their dependents all in the same, sequence of, 10 seconds, right? So massive piece there. Taking your texting on the go. office hours in chiropractic offices are all over the place, right? 9 to noon, and then 3 to 6, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe half day on Thursday, whatever they are. There's so much time that you're not in the office, not answering the phones. So when we created the provider app, you can take your texting on the go. So you don't have to answer your phone, but you can see people texting, you can respond as desired from your business number, not your cell phone. So many docs get, tied up giving out their personal cell phone. You want to stop doing that. We moved into after hours answering. I don't even know if you've heard about this feature yet.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we did a study of a client. We put call tracking on his site. We saw that he had 48 phone calls in a 30-day period that hung up. They didn't leave a message. This is not people that left messages. They hung up. So I didn't even include the voicemails that may or may not have become patients because they went to voicemail. So then we compared the 48 numbers to his EHR. We found that 24 of them did not exist in the EHR, which would pretty commonly indicate those are probably new patients. Let's say half of them are spam calls, business calls, whatever. Let's say it's just 12 new patients. Think about the average case value. Easy math, $2,000. You just lost $24,000 because your phone answering a month because your phone answering was not good, right? So what we created was basically, again, an AI assistant for the cloud. We call it Charlie AI. You set up a voicemail. There's actually 2 different messages you record, and there's 2 different text messages you create. So when the number calls in, we check it against Genesis. Is the number in there? If it is, we play an existing patient voicemail, and then they can leave they can leave you a voicemail or they can hang up. It's up to them. We will automatically send them a text apologizing for missing their call. If they're an existing patient, please go to theschedulingApp.com to manage your schedule. Otherwise, leave us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible, whatever it may be. If they're a new patient, it'll be a different message like, hey, it looks like you might be new here, trying to schedule an appointment. We can help you by giving you a link to the website, whatever it may be. But we convert it from a phone call to a text conversation because the most used app on any smartphone in the world is the texting app by far. So by getting them into a text message conversation, they're less likely to go to the next chiropractor because you've now engaged with them. And if you have the provider app, you can continue the conversation from wherever you are, even if you're on a beach in Hawaii, which is where I'd certainly like to be after this whole year of not going to Hawaii. And then we recently released our mobile responsive drag and drop editor. So it's basically like a MailChimp or whatever is out there. So you can make beautiful newsletters, emails, etc. We have a live chat functionality now. We've got our KPI dashboards in there. I mean, there's so many things. We've really built this monster that can run your office better than you ever imagined. One of my favorite features actually is having been a person who ran a front desk and was an office manager, etc. We created something we call mission control. So similar to you have the alerts in Genesis that said, hey, reactivation re-exam coming up. We set up from the appointment kept standpoint, who missed their appointments yesterday. Those calls obviously have to be made to get those made up. Who's not confirmed for today because they're most at risk of missing today. Whose birthday is it? To wish them a happy birthday, right? Anybody missing information, missing email, missing phone, and we get that information. We have a whole panel where you can configure this. You can see where everybody is. Are they off on their care plan? Are they how many appointments have they missed? And 15 minutes before they come in, we pop it up on the conversations page with an alert of, hey, Brian's coming in. He's 2 appointments behind on his care plan. Get those rescheduled. Boom, right? So it really will run your practice from the marketing side to get new patients, conversions, better patient experience, more retention, reactivations. I mean, you can set those up on autopilot to run, and so that your staff never have to do that. I remember back in the day, we used to have to call through those travel cards, the big bucket of travel cards that hadn't been in a while. So I mean, we've really packed it in there, and we've got another we got a huge release scheduled for Q3 this year. Bringing another, massive piece of functionality to the chiropractic world that has never, been done in this way. And so some big news coming in the next 90 days for sure.
Cool, man. Well, all right. We talked a lot about patient experience. We talked a lot about Review Wave, all the features, functionality, the integration. Somebody wants to know more about patient experience, wants to learn more about how to create a great experience, wants to know more about how Review Wave can help them do that. What's the best way for them to get that information?
Yeah, jump on reviewwave.com, book a free demo, be the best 20, 30 minutes that you've invested in your practice in a very long time. We'll show you how it'll exactly work for your scenario. We'll find out what issues you're having problems with and show you those specific features on how we can help you. And, we are the only company of our kind in all of chiropractic that has a 60-day satisfaction guarantee. So if you're not happy for any reason in the first 60 days, we will shake and part ways as friends rather than locking you into an annual or multi-year contract.
Awesome, man. Well, brother, great to see you again, finally. And looking forward to seeing you in person again sometime soon, now that we can all do that again. So, but thank you so much for coming on and getting everybody up to speed on what you guys are up to, and great job, and keep up the good work. And I'll hopefully again see you soon, bro.
Absolutely, man. Cheers.